Hodor. Let's talk about Hodor. He's my favourite character in Game of Thrones.
Ah, who doesn't love Hodor? Every time something bad happens and Hodor's there holding Bran and he's just so gentle and... I love Hodor. He's my favourite. And if they kill him off, I will not watch this show ever again.
He's just a kind soul.
Yeah, he's the gentle giant. But the thing that interested me is why does he keep saying Hodor, Hodor, whenever I've read the books. And it actually turns out, at one point, Theon Greyjoy, before he turned evil, said, well, at least we know one thing about Hodor. He can say his name. And it turns out that his name is actually Walder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't like this. It doesn't suit him at all. I prefer Hodor.
Well, Walder's a very popular name in Westeros, for some reason or another. I don't know why. But the thing is, that's interesting as well about Hodor, he can actually understand people. Like, he can understand people talking to him, and he has certain social awareness, apart from whenever he was running around buck naked.
Yeah.
But other than that, he has good social awareness. He can understand people, so the fact that he just can say Hodor is quite strange, and he can actually say Hodor in different ways, so it means that he understands certain elements of speech. So he can say
like a tone to his voice. Like...
Yeah. So when he's panicked, he'll go Hodor, 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 and when he's sad, he'll go Hodor. So yeah, he understands basically how to speak, but he can't say more than one word. And there is an actual neurological condition known as, well, it's been called Broca's aphasia, but it's also known as expressive aphasia. It was actually discovered by a 19th century French physician, Paul Broca, who had found a patient that could only say Tan, and that wasn't his name either. So he was a lot like Hodor in that he could only say Tan, and it turns out that what it was caused by was a lesion on the front of his brain. So this is probably something along the same lines that happened to Hodor, although it has been known to be caused by stroke or brain tumour or things like that. Hopefully Hodor doesn't have a brain tumour, because if somebody dies from a brain tumour in this show, I will be very upset.
That's the sort of thing, really, in that sort of show, really. That people don't die of old age, really, do they?
No, they just... anything else you can think of.
Is there any kind of hope for a cure for Hodor?
Well, I think it's just one of those things at the moment that won't really affect him that badly. I think he'll remain the character he is, but at the same time, you do have Bran sneaking into his brain, and that's all kinds of weird.
It's going to mess things up even further.
Yeah, I think he's starting to mess with Hodor a bit, and you never know. Hodor might start to try and push him back, because that's a scary thing, someone invading your brain.
That's true. It's true.
But that aside, the whole neuroscience element to it actually creates such another depth to the character that this is actually a condition, and Hodor actually represents this sort of research that says, you understand speech a certain way with a certain part of your brain, whereas the other part of your brain is the one that produces the speech. And you have to remember as well, speech is independent from words, so it's a really complicated thing to think about.
Well, Game of Thrones is not the first to really kind of breach this topic, really. I make it sound quite weird, but The Simpsons?
Yeah, The Simpsons did it. I loved the way The Simpsons did it. But after Maggie shot Mr. Burns, spoilers alert.
Spoilers from I don't know how many years ago.
Oh God, who knows? But yeah, Maggie shot Mr. Burns, and then suddenly he had expressive aphasia, which meant that all he could say was Homer Simpson. Homer Simpson. And this led to, of course, lots of hilarious scenarios. And it's been taken from quite a lot, I think, and it's quite an interesting thing.